The standard of umpiring in BPL I thought was very high because umpiring is everyone's business. The last 3 weeks have been another step forward for Bangladesh cricket's investment in match officiating. The BPL tournament showed that there were 7 teams in the tournament. There were umpires, referees and coaches involved in the BPL to try and improve the standard of cricket in Bangladesh. It's been an absolute pleasure to be part of the BPL and to be a match referee in that competition, but also to bring across another umpire coach in Dennis Burns from the ECB, the England and Wales Cricket Board, someone that I've worked with for a long period of time at the ICC and at Cricket Australia. And together as a unit, everyone's involved here because umpiring is everyone's business. We've sought to improve the standard of officiating for BPL, and after that, to conduct a 2-day workshop for the match referees here at the BCB. The primary focus of those 2 days, concluding this afternoon, was umpire assessment. What to look for, how to feed back to the umpires about various areas of performance, and to try to upskill the match referees in how they assess our umpires. The umpires need more quality information if they're going to improve, but also to reinforce what they're doing well. The standard of umpiring in BPL I thought was very high. But being a restless person as I am, there's always room for improvement. So today the match referees have gone through a course around how do they get better. So everybody in our system is accountable, everybody needs to improve, and we're always looking to raise the standard. So no different to the playing teams. And it's been really good to work with around about a dozen match referees here for the last couple of days. We've done some field work, some technique discussions and what to look for. We've gone through man and match management, player issues. We've gone through decision making and also how to collect better statistics, because the Bangladesh Cricket Board wants to be in a position to rank their umpires and to ensure that the right umpires are going forward and reaching the highest level of our sport. We do want to produce more international standard umpires here in Bangladesh. We're all part of that, and the match referees are an integral part of that. So it's been really rewarding, exciting, informative, sometimes interesting, but we've learnt a lot more about what we're doing and the way we're doing it. We're all working forward to the start of next season to make next season a better season than this one. That's what we're about, that's what we've been doing. Any questions? Look, I'm not going to give you a headline around how I'm rating Bangladesh umpires. I'm not going to give you a headline. Look, they're very good. You know, the standard of your international panel umpires in BPL was very high. You know, and it was great to see 3 Bangladesh umpires involved in the final. That's a good thing. But I did say before that it's all about improvement. There's no finish line to what we're doing here. But of course we want to make the team stronger. So what we'll be doing going forward is looking at reducing the size of panels where we can to improve the quality and consistency of performance. The players expect that, and we want that too. One of the great things about the BPL final and the playoffs was that nobody was talking about the umpiring. We want the same thing about Bangladesh domestic cricket as well. I've made big mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. You raise a good point about transparency of, camera footage and camera coverage at cricket, and that's something that BCB will be looking into as well. You know, there are a lot of issues here that need to be addressed. Match officials management structure, getting more people involved in managing our match officials, but doing it in a more focused and targeted way. Increased technology resources, absolutely. Camera coverage at matches, for sure. The better that we assess at the domestic level, the more problems and performance issues we solve before they hit BPL. So in the pathway we need, yes, more technology to show what we're doing well and where we could improve. That's certainly a requirement going forward. No particular thoughts on him that I'd like to share with the wider group. He's like nobody different at the international level or even at the domestic level. He needs to make his next game his best game, you know, and just keep learning and keep improving and keep celebrating what's working. I want him to focus on his umpiring as much as he can, put a lot of the current distractions around the politics aside and just umpire the game of cricket and keep the focus on the players. But he's doing well, but he just needs to keep it simple and, yeah.
One question, in your career, when you were a full-time umpire, did you feel any pressure performing in a particular nation or particular match?
Look, pressure is one of those things that you'll let it affect you at your own peril. You know, there's lots of outside pressure and there's lots of inside pressure. We sometimes put a lot of pressure on ourselves as umpires because we don't want to make mistakes and we get very fearful of making mistakes. That's the internal pressure. For me, I never worried about the external pressure because that was an uncontrollable. So what the media would say, you'll say. What the players will say, they will say. I need to focus on doing my thing to the best of my ability and people will say whatever they're going to say. So the best way I can answer your question is, people are going to judge you anyway, so just be yourself. Oh no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. No. I'm not here to talk about those sorts of issues. There's a lot of positivity that we've been looking at through BPL. There's a lot of positivity that we've been doing here in our match officials unit. We're just focusing on what we can do and our role in the game, and that's where it stays. Well, I haven't worked with all the same umpires during that period, so it's a little bit hard to make that comparison. So I really can't answer that question. It's very dynamic. It's incredibly busy, incredibly noisy. The food's great. I've been a bit under the weather at times. I've been catching colds and getting sick occasionally, but I think that goes with the territory because I've been away from home for 2 months now. So the body's a bit fatigued. It's been a very busy schedule. You know, matches every day in BPL, double headers, lots of things to do off the field. But I think it's also been rewarding because we've been really tight as a team and we've enjoyed each other's company, which has been fantastic. So there's been some good shopping, some good eating, and there's been quite a few interesting stories told. So look, it's a very dynamic place to come to, and for that reason I really enjoy the passion and the enthusiasm of the match officials that we're working with, and you thrive off that. We've also done a train the trainer course for potential new umpire trainers. That's been great. And we're also looking for umpire coaches. So if you know anyone who would like to be an umpire's coach, make sure they talk to Obby. We're always looking to add resources to our team, but it's been good fun, but I'm looking forward to getting home.